Boom! Rocks in the room. And today it's all about the money, honey. And on Real Estate News for Real People today, would you rather make dollars or make sense? When you can do both. On hot tips for the HotIA and Real Estate News for Real People today. HotIA, you say? You're a homeowner of the information age, someone who is really interested in learning more about how to maximize the profit, minimize the stress on your greatest investment, especially if you don't like, don't trust, or don't see the value in real estate agents in this day and age. You may be onto something. Some people don't like lawyers. Some people don't like car mechanics. They do it themselves, to whatever extent that's wise. But again, back to your greatest investment, everything you need to succeed in selling your house. I put it in the link below. I'm going to do so right this minute. And also, I'm going to throw in the book, 101 Tips to Sell Your House Without an Agent. Why would I do this? Well, I'm Rock, Florida. I am the head coach and course creator of Real Estate Without Agents, and I've been, as a licensed and recovering real estate broker, disrupting the real estate industry from the inside out for decades. And I'm here to teach you what you wish you would have known before you need to know it. Now, on to hot tips for the HotIA today, number 63. There are 5 ingredients in your marketing offer. We've covered location, condition, and today we're into pricing. Now, if you're a fan of HGTV or you've Googled how to price your property, well, maybe you think you know what you're doing when it comes to pricing a property, because they're going to tell you, reasonably price it. You don't want to price yourself out of the market. In typical markets, this may be the case and often is. However, when it comes to pricing your property, there are a couple of different ways to go about doing that. You can pay for an appraisal, big fan of that. You can also Z estimates. I really, they're pretty reasonable in their algorithms and such. But in this day and age, when people are paying 10, 15, 50,000 more than they'll appraise at, side rant here real quick. If you ever see a property priced at under market value, you're on to annoyed right there, because there is no such thing. Market value is what a willing and able buyer will pay for a property. Market value is what it is sold at. There's no pricing it under that, because if you price it under market value, then what you're saying is it's just really, I'm trying to price it under what I think it's worth. But again, back to pricing a property, and you're trying to maximize your profit, price that sucker high right now. And there's always room to come down, but stage your exit strategy in such a way that you're not openly exposed. You can use alternative platforms. I'm going to hit you with a fire hose of stuff here, but pricing is the third ingredient of the 5 that we're going to be talking about this week. And pricing a property today, again, I counseled some folks last week what seemed to be reasonable in today's current market. Would have been about 400,000, but who's being reasonable these days? We're into making dollars and making cents, remember? So they priced it at 4.25. Maybe they should have priced it at 450 because they got it under contract at 420 on 420 of 2021, and they're saving 25,000 plus on associated real estate fees. So that's hot tip number 63 of 101 for y'all today. Everything you need to succeed in selling your house, it's in the links below, folks. I want you to have this information, because in real estate news for real people, do me a favor, dislike it, comment, but ask more questions, folks, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. A lot of good stuff there. In real estate news for real people today, I'm going to step off into cash flow. We're going to talk about how I am a success as a real estate broker by talking people out of selling their property. Because share a couple stories. The Pattons owned a really neat little property on a really large lot right next to one of the best elementary schools in town. Their mortgage was a whole lot less than what it would rent at. And when we visited together, they thought they were going to sell their property, buy their next one, because that is what is the tradition and the conventional way of going about doing things. I want to challenge you into some unconventional wisdom here, folks. See, what they didn't realize was with their current income stream and their current credit rating, they were entirely capable of taking on a second mortgage if they were willing to take the risk associated with renting that property out. Now, their mortgage on that property was around $1,100. It rents for around $1,600, making them a tidy little profit and paying off the property in the process. Let me remind you of something here, folks. When you're buying real estate and you're not using cash, what you're paying for is, well, a lot of land for the bank with your name on it. You're buying money, folks, and money's real cheap right now. Okay. And I regret every house that April and I have ever sold. So to feed the unconventional fodder that I would like you to attribute a bit towards here is that last week, well, I guess, yeah, it's been early part of last week. Young lady, single school teacher, was thinking, you know, I need to live in a little larger house, a little closer to my family on the other side of town. And she thought, I need to sell this one to buy that one. So that's going to make it contingent and this and that. And I said, you know what? Have you ever asked the bank if you would be qualified to make another purchase with your current income and credit? Now, remember, she's a school teacher, the most undervalued profession on the planet, in my humble but highly accurate estimation at this point. But she didn't know. So I challenged her to ask questions of the person that she would be purchasing the money from. And guess what, folks? With just a little bit of help from our friends or family or what, she is actually primely positioned to now purchase her next dream home without a contingency. Her current rent on the property she resides in and has a mortgage on it is only about $600 a month. It'll rent for more than double that. Do the math. It's about cash flow. And another thing I want to bring up here, and I'm going to be talking about this tomorrow, how to generate the highest return for the improvements on your property. But short-term, high return, Airbnb that sucker. She happens to have a little 1,100 square foot house real near a university. A lot of people need transitional housing. And guess what? When she gets down to managing that properly, it will be netting over $2,000 a month on a short-term, high-return rental type prospect. So it's all about what you know and using what you know and maybe taking a little risk or paying some others to offset that risk management for you. But again, folks, consider all of your options. You may not need to sell. In this market, things continue to keep going up. I don't know how long they'll be doing this, but money's still cheap, and that property may continue to appreciate ad infinitum. Okay, so just consider your options, consider the cash flowing potential of your existing property, and ask your lender just what your next leveraging capability is. All right. That's it for real estate news for real people today and hot tips for the HotIA. I really do pray blessings on you and your house and make it a great